What is the weirdest fact you know? We don't really know who the inventor of the fire hydrant is, because the patent was destroyed in a fire. Springfield's never had a hurricane in recorded history. Lisa, the records only go back to the 70s when the Hall of Records was mysteriously blown away. Ironic. Seriously, imagine being a proud inventor of a machine which extinguishes fire and saves many lives, and the only proof that you created fire extinguisher is burned in a fire. Sucks to be him. Frederick Bauer, the inventor of the Pringles can, is buried in one. Whichever one of us finds him in the winning can gets to tour a Pringles factory. Is he cremated or buried in a giant Pringles can? Most of the camels of Saudi Arabia are imported from Australia. The largest wild population of camels is also in Australia. Cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, collard greens, Savoy cabbage, kohlrabi, and guylan are all the same species of plant, Brassicolaceae, just bred to enhance different parts of the plant. Volkswagen makes a curry wurst and it has its own original part number. Number 199 398 500A. Yup, they produce more sausages than cars. If I remember correctly, I saw it Donut Media. A fungi grows next to the highly radioactive elephant's foot in the Chernobyl reactor. It feeds off the gamma rays emitted by the nuclear fuel in a process known as radiosynthesis. If you were exposed to similar levels of radiation, you would have a lethal dose in 3 minutes. Radiotrophic fungus was first discovered at the Chernobyl site in 1991, just after the collapse of the Soviet Union and the start of internationally aided cleanup/containment efforts. Not so sure about right next to the elephant's foot, but it was definitely found growing in large, flourishing colonies all throughout the site's cooling water supply. This fungus appears to use melanin, the same dark brown pigment that gives humans all their various normal skin tones, except in much higher concentrations, to power sugar-producing reactions by deriving energy from nuclear decay the same way plants and cyanobacteria use the green pigment chlorophyll to synthesize sugars by deriving energy from sunlight. Basically, this stuff is a mold colony that has the most extreme tan ever, and uses it to eat radiation. Similar fungi have been found accumulated on the exterior hulls of low-orbit spacecraft, and experiments were recently, 2018 to 2019, conducted to begin investigating if the stuff could be used as shielding to protect astronauts from solar/cosmic radiation. Apparently, results were promising. When male honeybees orgasm, their penises explode with a pop, audible to human ears. And when winter comes, the worker bees, which are all female, kick the male bees out to die in the cold because they do nothing other than mate with the queen, and the queen can make more even if she is new and unmated. She needs to mate in order to make more female bees. What is it with bees and not being able to physiologically survive normal actions like defending themselves or procreation? Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins can. They can also die of starvation with a full stomach. That is weird. Titanic was fitted with microphones for receiving underwater bell signals. With this system, the sound of submarine bells was received through the hull of the vessel. Submarine bells, used as fog signals, were located on lightships, at lighthouses, and even on some specially equipped buoys. They were actuated by electric signals, compressed air, or simply by wave motion. Titanic had 2 submarine microphones on her hull, one on each side. These were the ears of the ship. By switching between the port and starboard microphones and comparing the volume of the bells, the navigation officer could determine the direction to the navigation aid. Sound travels much further through water than through air. These bells could be heard over 15 miles away through the headset. A pretty cool way of navigating at a time when GPS and radar didn't yet exist. Still couldn't detect the iceberg, sheesh. Doorknobs that are made out of brass can disinfect itself in about 8 hours. Copper has the same effect. This early study published in April 2020 demonstrates the SARS-CoV-2 virus particles became non-viable after 4 hours on copper surfaces. If you want to paint a violin red, you have to use a naphthol or pyrrole red, as a cadmium red pigment is too heavy and will alter the sound. I've never thought about the weight of paint before. Since folks started wearing masks, Kleenex sales dropped 40%. That's strange, my teenage son still uses just as much Kleenex. Well yeah, I didn't get a cold this year. Koalas have fingerprints that are very close to human fingerprints. There apparently have been several break-ins in Australia by the same person based off fingerprint evidence. Turned out to be a koala that was responsible for all of these. Did they arrest that koala? Anglerfish mate by the male biting the female's abdomen. Over time, the male is absorbed and linked to the female's circulatory system, while the male basically melts into a parasite-looking growth that is actually nothing but testicles, which the female will use when she's ready. Weird enough for you? I'll just leave this here. Also, the males are small enough to hold in your hand. Those horrifying, huge abominations with the teeth and light? Females exclusively. An average storm cloud weighs about 47,627,199 kilograms. But is supported by even more air. That's a very precise number to be using the word about. Most runestones erected by Norsemen were erected by Christians, and they're often decorated with Christian crosses. Runic writing also continued for centuries after conversion, so it's not uncommon to see things like "God help his soul" on runestones. It might not be so weird if one's intimately familiar with the topic, but I think a lot of people just seem to associate runic writing with paganism. One of the most famous runestones is literally Harold Bluetooth bragging about turning the Danes Christian. Tapir's penises are not only very large relative to body length, but they are also prehensile, i.e. they can grip and grab. What the literal fuck? The Iron Maiden was never a torture device. Some archaeologist a couple hundred years ago just found an old metal coffin that happened to have metal spikes by it, and he just assumed that the spikes belonged on the door of the coffin. I remember hearing about this on Salmonella Academy. A whale's fart bubble is so big that you could fit a Volkswagen inside of it. The fart bubble, not the whale. You could also fit a Volkswagen inside a whale toe. The first American film to drop an F-bomb was M-A-S-H. M/A/SH. MASH. If you type Illuminati backwards on your search bar, along with com at animali.com, it'll take you straight to the NSA website. Someone had fun setting that one up. The spinal cord has the consistency of a ripe banana. Yeah, vertebrae are rings of interlocking armor for a reason. That's terrifying considering the pose most people reading this comment are sitting in. The man who invented the Match.com website lost his wife to a man she met on Match.com. Wombats poop in cubes, then use the poop cubes to build little walls. Huh, who would have thought I have something in common with wombats? Do they also suffer from erectile dysfunction? They form cubes in their intestines and push them out of their round, and individually unique, anus. The shape prevents them from rolling away, which is important for them because they use the smell of their poop to establish their territory. Stacking their poop allows the smell to travel farther. If it was not for some gut bacteria, we would fart in colors. I wanna fart blue. Now I'm angry I can't. The noises the raptors made in Jurassic Park were actually turtles fucking. Not as weird, but my random fact is similar. In Spirited Away, when recording the English dub for the pig transformation scene, the actor talked with a mouthful of apple. In the original Japanese, they used KFC chicken. I was wondering why I kept getting random boners during that movie edit. My highest comment ever is about turtles giving me boners. You put yogurt in someone's butthole to speed up decomposition. I do? Pro tip, only works on dead bodies, living ones just get upset. I'm not allowed in that grocery store anymore. That divider at grocery stores that separates stuff on the conveyor belt is called a Spratchet. I keep trying to buy one of those, but the lady behind the counter keeps putting it back. One day. Thanks. I like this one. I'll be able to bust it out much more naturally than the one about putting yogurt in a dead person's anus to speed up decomposition. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.